Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Namaste. Today, we have the pleasure of having Ms. Tavleen Kaur. She's a nutritionist from the top institute called National Institute of Nutrition. You may be wondering, where am I getting these from? They're not from Bollywood. Tavleen one day may go to Bollywood, but she's actually from Hyderabad.
Okay.
And right now she's in Punjab. And why are they preferred by me and liked by you? The other three are also from National Institute of Nutrition. Because National Institute of Nutrition is the topmost institute in the country. Anyone interested in nutrition, if they have to be selected there, it is very, very tough. Probably getting a visa to America may be easier, but getting into National Institute of Nutrition is not easy because the number of seats are less and probably thousands of students across the country would like to go there. Obviously, they select meritorious candidates. And when the meritorious candidates are selected, I'm a biologist and I believe in evolution. And chances are very high there is some relation with the brain and the face, facial expression. Certainly, beauty is defined in many, many ways. But one thing I must say, irrespective of the color, irrespective of the features, someone who is bright, there is a shine in their face. Either knowledge, whether male or female. So when I had my interactions with National Institute of Nutrition, I realized that these very young, bright students like Ms. Tavleen Kaur, they are going to change the future health scenario in the country. What doctors could not do, these people will do. And that is the platform where I have invited her. I met her also before in India. And I'll be happy to have Ms. Tavleen Kaur, nutritionist, present today's topic.
Thank you so much for your kind words, sir. I'm not sure how to I feel really happy. I am really happy to be here as well. I'll just share my screen and then we'll start. I hope my screen is visible if someone can confirm.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, so let's just start. This topic is really, really close to my heart. So today we are going to discuss brain food. So nourishing the mind, superfoods for optimal brain health and mental well-being. So how our brain and the food we eat are connected. This is what we are going to discuss today. Not able to, just give me a second. I'm not able to move it forward. I'll just share it again. Yeah. Okay. Is it visible? The screen is visible. I had some technical
Yes.
issue from my end.
Yes.
Okay. 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 So nourishing the mind, superfoods for optimal brain health and mental well-being. So these are some of the topics that we'll be covering today. So we'll start with the gut and brain relationship. So how are our intestines, our gut and our brain related? We'll discuss briefly on that. And then I would like to take you to some of these disorders, like the major disorders, mental health disorders that we face currently, like depression, anxiety, dementia, brain fog, insomnia, fatigue. What are these, and how are the foods that we are eating? How are these affecting our risk of having these diseases? Or if any one of you, or if anyone you know is suffering from these diseases, what are the foods that we can give them or we can have so that the problem is prevented, or at least it is cured, or we have something. So all the things that I'm going to share today, they are research backed. Everything has empirical evidence. But again, this does not mean that only foods or only medications would be required to heal the diseases. Food and medications, all of these would go together. So if someone is having a medication, foods can help accelerate the journey. So, but we need both of those things to kind of move forward. But foods in general can help you prevent all of these diseases, especially in the elderly. So yeah, starting with the first topic, gut and brain relationship. So as you can see, this is a seesaw. I just love this image. Our gut and brain, they need to be balanced. So the gut, our intestines, they contain largest connection of nerve cells. So nerve cells are the ones that would carry out all the chemical reactions, all the brain processings in the body. The largest collections of nerve cells is in our gut. So that is how gut and brain are related. So if the food we are eating, it is affecting our intestines, and a lot of nerve cells are there in the intestines. That is why whatever we are eating, it would directly impact our brain or whatever the nervous system that is happening. So vagus nerve is a nerve that would connect brain and our gut. I'm just telling you all of these terminologies so that if like in the coming slides I use this, you know what is the meaning of it. And at any point, if you feel there's something you don't understand, obviously you can ask me at the end. But if there's something you completely don't understand, please feel free to stop me and ask me there so that I can clear it and then we can move forward. So, yeah. So gut and brain, they are related, like I told. How are these related? There is a gut-brain axis. So if a person is not eating good food, it would affect our brain. So we will have a lot of anxiety, we will have a lot of stress because of some neurotransmitters, as in some of the chemicals that our gut would release, it would affect our brain. But if already there's stress in our brain, it would also affect our gut. Like if you remember your school days, you have an exam the next day, you will have a lot of jitters, a lot of butterflies, or even some people would have constipation or diarrhea, lose motions before an exam. You know, the stress is here in our brain, but again it would affect our gut, our intestine, our digestive system. You will feel butterflies, you will have like a lot of jitters. That is how it is connected. It is very basic. Your brain will affect your intestines or your digestive system. So food will affect your brain. Stress anxiety would eventually also affect your gut. So gut and brain, it is like a cycle. I hope it is clear. We'll move forward. So I just love this quote. If you can see, food can be a powerful medicine. If you make the right dietary choices, a great meal can fix almost everything, including how you feel about yourself and about your life. Okay, so the first disorder that I would really want to talk about is depression and anxiety. So what is depression? We all say, I am feeling very depressed today. I don't feel happy. But depression is a very common mental health disorder, which involves a depressed mood or like a loss of pleasure in normal activities. Like if I used to find gardening very nice, if there's like a depressive episode that I'm suffering from, I might not find gardening that nice. I won't be happy doing it. So if it is for a long period of time, we would say that the person might be suffering from depression. So how does depression affect us? How does depression is related to the foods? So if you know anyone who's suffering from depression, it is very common that they either do not eat, they eat lesser, or they eat a lot more. So it affects our appetite. It can make us eat more or less. What is the reason for that? So the cause of appetite hindering in depression can be because of gut microbiota changes and inflammation. So let me just clear it up. Our gut, our intestines, they contain a lot of bacteria, good bacteria. I hope, I think some of the previous speakers have spoken about it. Gut bacteria are beneficial bacteria that are present in our body, are in our intestines, and they are our friends. They are responsible for a lot of good things that are happening in our body. So, if a person is suffering from depression, there are cases when our gut microbiota is affected. How it is affected, like I told, I'm again not able to, yeah, okay. Like I told, our stress, anxiety, it would affect our gut. There are some jitters, there are problems. So, is my screen visible? I am again, I don't know if,
No, yeah, it is visible and it is moving too. You move
okay,
back
okay,
again.
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for clearing it up. Okay, so I was telling that gut bacteria are bacteria in our body, which are our friends, and they are responsible for a lot of good things that are there. Like they would help us digest our food, they would carry out a lot of chemical reactions in our body, a lot of other things. So they are there. But in cases of depression, which is completely a mental health disorder, there are cases where we see gut bacteria has changed, gut bacteria has reduced, or it has altered. So again, bacteria, our brain and gut, they are related. So what are the foods that we can eat for a good mood to prevent depression? Or if a person is suffering from depression, what are the food that we can have so that depression can be reduced? Because solely foods can also lead to a lot of like problems and a lot of depressive episodes. So the first is probiotics. Probiotics are live bacteria like lactobacillus. So probiotic foods are as simple as curd, miso, buttermilk, tempeh. All of these foods, if you include in your diet, there would be probiotic. You will be eating good bacteria, and they would obviously uh, increase or flourish the bacteria that is there in our gut. The second is prebiotics. So probiotics like curd or bacteria, they would obviously need some food to flourish, right? So prebiotics are the food for probiotics. So prebiotics are beans, legumes, oats, bananas, all of these foods, they contain soluble fiber, which are prebiotics. They provide food for our good bacteria. Our good bacteria would feed on the prebiotics and they would flourish. So yeah, you will have a happy gut, and then obviously depressive episodes would be reducing. The third is omega-3 fatty acids, which are good fats. They are present in green leafy vegetables. They are present in nuts, seeds like sunflower seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds. Have 1 tablespoon of seed mixture, like have a mixture of sunflower seeds, flax seeds, roast them a little, powder them, and then have it every day, every single day, and you will see a change in how you feel about yourself, how you feel about your life. A lot of things would be really easy. The next food group that I would want to talk about is vitamins. So B9 and B12, folic acid and vitamin B12, all of these foods, all of these vitamins. So B9, B12, their deficiency has been linked to depression or feeling bad or feeling sad for that matter. So B9 and B12, their deficiency can be reduced if you eat a lot of legumes, citrus fruits like oranges, lemons, etc., and banana. For uh, specifically for those who are vegetarians or who are vegans who do not have meat, chicken, dairy products, B12 deficiency is extremely common because vitamin B12 is only present in dairy foods, mostly like animal foods. So if you are a vegetarian or a vegan and you do not consume any animal food, I would really suggest you to have supplements or mushrooms. Mushrooms have a little bit of B12, but again, having some supplementation in this case is necessary for you because vitamin B12 is not present in plant foods at all. After that, vitamin D is very important. I have not mentioned it here, but get your sunlight because it is very important to get your sunlight and get that vitamin D. Minerals like iron and magnesium, their deficiency has also been linked to depression. So having meat, legumes, nuts, seeds, specifically sunflower seeds are very rich in magnesium. Iron would be rich in green leafy vegetables also, but also meat, dates, all of these foods would contain iron and contain magnesium. And make sure you are including a lot of variety of foods. So that is important. Also, for all of those who have a lot of chai or tea with your meals, if you're having chai with your meals, your iron in your food is not getting to your body. Your chai is making sure कि वो iron को आपकी body में पहुंचने ही नहीं दे रही है. So make sure if you want to have chai with your meals, give a gap of at least half an hour. Otherwise, you will be iron deficient. You will develop anemia, which is extremely common. So after that, spices like saffron, curcumin, turmeric. Indian foods are rich in turmeric, so I don't really think that should be a problem. We all put haldi in our foods. But apart from that, oreganos, saffron, all of these also contain a lot of antioxidant activities, as in they would prevent harmful oxidation in our body and would help flourish the gut bacteria, gut health, and eventually would help you avoid or stay away from a depressed mood. What all you have to avoid: sugar and high GI foods. Whenever we are feeling sad, I have noticed we all crave for a lot of sugary foods. We'll feel, if we'll have like good amount of sugar, we'll feel happy, but it is not the case. If you're feeling sad and you have a lot of sugar, you will feel sadder eventually. You just feel it would help you, it doesn't help you. Then artificial sweeteners, we all feel okay, we'll stay away from sugar, but we'll have like artificial sweetener foods, those which say that they are sugar free foods, but they contain artificial sweeteners. There, it has been proven that artificial sweeteners affect us badly. So make sure you're avoiding artificial sweeteners at all costs. Don't have artificial sweetener rich foods at all. You can have a little bit of stevia because it is natural, but apart from that, artificial sweeteners, it's a strict no-no. After that, fried and processed foods, so pakoras, and if you have burgers, pizzas, I hope you don't really have a lot of these foods on a regular basis. Do not have it, because the sodium in it, the trans fats in it, all of these are linked to a sadder mood. You won't feel really happy about yourselves after having a lot of it. The next is anxiety. It is very, I'll take it a little fastly because it's very similar to depression, but it is like feeling a lot of worry and fear. It is very excessive. So that is when we say, we have a lot of anxiety, doing mundane courses, but having a lot of anxiety. How do you avoid that? First is dietary fiber. It is prebiotics. Like I told, it would help flourish gut microbiota, having whole grains, not having maida, but having like millets, atta, whole wheat atta, whole grain, oats. All of these would help you have dietary fiber and would help gut health. Second is tryptophan. So there is a happy hormone in our body which is called serotonin. Whenever we are happy, serotonin is there in our body. But in those people, if we are very stressed, serotonin won't be produced in a lot of amount. There can be some issue with our gut, with our brain. Serotonin won't be produced. We won't be feeling happy. But tryptophan is something that it is an amino acid. It is kind of a protein which would help make serotonin in our body. So having tryptophan rich food would also help you have that happy boost. So it would be in turkeys if you have non-vegetarian food, or in vegetarian food, chickpeas are rich in tryptophan. If you'll have chickpeas, there would be tryptophan in your body and it would help produce serotonin, which is a happy hormone, which would help you feel happy. The third is again omega-3 fatty acids, which is, we have discussed this. Fourth is vitamin D. Please get your sunlight. It would help produce vitamin D in your body. If you cannot go out, then we would need some supplementation so that there is vitamin D in your body. After that, herbs. So having like a chamomile tea, you can have that. it would, or a lavender tea. These are all fancy terms, but they are linked to, a lot of good effects. So having like a lavender tea instead of your regular tea, or having a chamomile tea before you sleep, it would really help prevent anxiety and depression. Sixth is magnesium. We have discussed this. Having sunflower seeds, beans, etc., avocados, it would help get that magnesium boost. Avoiding caffeine. So having a lot of coffee, if you have a lot of coffee, it can lead to anxiety, it can lead to depression. Having excessive amount of alcohol is also linked. Third, and very important, it is often overlooked. We don't know if we suffer from celiac sensitivity. So wheat, barley, all of these foods, they contain gluten. There are we might not know, but we also can suffer from, gluten sensitivity. So if you feel a lot of indigestion, or you feel anxious a lot, make sure you're getting a celiac sensitivity test done, a gluten intolerance test done. It can also be linked to the wheat that you are eating, as in the atta that you're eating. It can also be hampering your gut health and your brain health. So I just wanted to highlight that. The second, are we clear? If there's anyone who wanted to ask me something about depression and anxiety and the foods, you can ask right now, or should I move forward? How would you want to proceed?
I think you can move forward. We'll keep the question and answer at the end.
All right. Okay. Okay. So the second disorder that I would want to talk about is depression and brain fog. It is very, very common with old age. So make sure you're all attentive and listening. So first, I would want to talk about brain fog. What is brain fog? Brain fog is a feeling that you think, your memory is foggy. You're not able to think as clearly as you would want to, or as you used to. It is not a disease, it is a symptom. So brain fog can be related to age. It can be because of stress or anxiety, or there are some people, after, if you suffered from COVID, like for a long period of time, and you had COVID, there are some people who also developed brain fog, a foggy memory, ki yaad nahi aa raha properly, ya you don't really have a clear memory. There was something, but I'm not sure what was it. You don't really have a clarity of thought. It is also linked to, having a disease such as COVID. That can also be a problem, and it would have led to brain fog or age, or all of these things. Dementia, you must have heard, like, having dementia. Dementia is a severe decline in mental function. So it can be because of, obviously, it can be because of age, but also because of other abnormalities like blockage in blood vessels, which are linked to brain. So dementia and brain fog, they are completely two separate things. Dementia is a disease, but brain fog, it is just a symptom. It can be because of dementia, but it can also be because of other things. So I would first want to discuss what are the foods which weaken your memory. And this is proven, like having a standard westernized diet. So westernized diet does not necessarily means just burger and fries. It would also mean like having a lot of maida, refined flour, or foods which are like naan and all of these things, which are high in refined flour, which are high in sugar, which are high in a lot of oil. All of these foods are linked to a weakened memory. So over the long course of time, if you're having a lot of these foods, it would eventually affect your memory. It is not just your age, but also a lot of these foods. Again, the second is gluten sensitivity. It is very important. If you are facing a lot of issues with your memory, with your moods, and you don't know what the cause is, make sure once you get yourself tested for gluten sensitivity. You might not just be suffering from indigestion or all of these things. The symptoms might not be there, but they can be manifested in a lot of your brain disorders like foggy memory, or having anxiety, depression. It can also be linked to having gluten sensitivity. There are patients who suffer from gluten sensitivity, but they don't know they suffer, but they are having anxiety, depression. And once they were off wheat, we removed wheat from their diet, their anxiety, their depression, their dementia also reduced. So if you're suffering from these things, make sure you're getting yourself tested for gluten sensitivity, that if you're allergic to wheat or not, like that. So what are the foods for a strong memory? The first is low calorie diet. So for all those who suffer, who are overweight, or who are obese, or whose weight is high weight or obesity is linked to having higher chances of dementia or having memory loss. So a low calorie diet would be recommended for all of those people. Second is soy. So soya beans. They are rich in isoflavones, which have a protective effect in, having a stronger memory. The third is coffee. So it is a little controversial. A while ago, I told you, don't have a lot of coffee. It would be linked to anxiety. But in this case, having a moderate amount of coffee is beneficial. So make sure having, even like, I'm not saying don't have coffee, even I am a lover of coffee, but reduce it like to just 1 or 2 cups a day and have it way before your sleep time. It is having a moderate amount of coffee in this case can lead to a stronger memory. So the next is extra virgin olive oil, which is high in MUFA, which is a good fat. So having olive oil in your diet is linked to anti-inflammatory and antioxidative effects, which are all good effects, and it would have a good effect on your memory and your gut. So it is very easy to incorporate olive oil. Obviously, you can have it in your salads, but also if you just want to lightly saute your vegetables, you can use that. If you don't really want to have olive oil, you can have mustard oil as well. Mustard oil or basic sarson ka tel, which we use in India also, it is also linked to a lot of similar health benefits. So olive oil and mustard oil, but make sure even mustard oil that you're having, it is not much processed. The last is spices. So again, these spices, we don't really value them as much, but they have a lot of good effects. So turmeric, rosemary, cinnamon, which is dalchini, pepper, all of these, if you include, make sure you're having, a spice box and you are including these every day. Instead of a lot of salt, include these spices, like include dalchini, include pepper, include oreganos, include thyme in your diet. All of these have antioxidative and anti-inflammatory effects, and they are linked to a stronger memory. And there are, research. This is all research backed. It would be helpful. The third is insomnia and fatigue. So almost all of, like almost 1/3 of the world's population is having, trouble in sleeping. A while ago, even this was something that I was facing. I was very much into a project, and I was having a lot of trouble sleep. Even when I was sleeping, I wasn't sleeping peacefully. There was like a disruption in my circadian rhythm. And all of these that I'm going to tell you right now, I incorporated a lot of these foods in my diet, and it really helped me sleep better. So this is also from my personal experience as well. So research says that your gut and your brain's circadian rhythm is something which is like a body clock. So your body would know, around 9 o'clock at night, I would want to sleep, or around 7 o'clock in the morning, I would want to get up. That is your body clock or your circadian rhythm. So your body clock, as in your brain's body clock and your stomach's body clock, it is very much linked. So you would really want to go to the loo first thing in the morning, because that's when your gut also wakes up and it wants you to go. Even at night, it is all linked. So if there's a disruption in our gut, it would affect our circadian rhythm, our body clock, and it would make us, not sleep good, not sleep better. So what are the foods which disrupt sleep? The first is obviously, again, caffeine or coffee. We've discussed it multiple times. So the first one, in anxiety, it is not beneficial to have a lot of coffee, but for a good memory, you should have coffee. Again, I'm saying, if you want to sleep better, caffeine is not good. So caffeine, you can have your coffee, but have it way before 3 p.m. Don't have even a single cup of coffee after 3 p.m. because after that, it would really make sure that it's not letting you sleep better. So it would delay sleep. So make sure you're not having coffee after 3 p.m. After your lunch, you're not supposed to have any coffee. Okay. Especially if you're having a troubled sleep, don't have coffee after 3 p.m. or after 2 p.m. After that, alcohol. So it is again very ironical. We feel if we are having alcohol, it would help us sleep better. But no, it won't help you sleep better. It would make you dizzy, but it will disrupt your deep sleep. So there is REM sleep, which is, deep sleep, rapid eye movement sleep, which is like when you're sleeping properly and your brain is able to rest and it is able to process memory and information. But if you're having alcohol or coffee, it would affect your deep sleep. It would make you feel drained. You hear I'm hungover from alcohol. If you had alcohol at the night, morning me you'll be very drained because you didn't sleep better. It just made you sleep, but you won't be able to sleep in a good quality. It would also affect your gut microbiota. So don't have alcohol if you're having trouble sleeping, but even in general, limit out. So foods for good sleeping. The first is again good good fats, which are anti-inflammatory, which would help you sleep better. So having, olive oil, having nuts, having seeds, having vegetable oils in some matter. Also for omega-3 fatty acids in general, there's like a small tip that I would want to give and we'll move forward. Keep changing the oils that you use. Don't just stick to one oil for your cooking, but keep changing it. Like for 1 month, make like if you're using sunflower oil for 1 month, the next month start using mustard oil, and the month after that you can use like rice bran oil, because all of these oils, they contain different types of good fats. So if you'll keep changing it, you'll have the benefits of all of these fats. Okay, so having omega-3 fatty acids, which would be like from your nuts, from your seeds. If you're having eggs, great. Dairy products, all of these foods would contain good fats. Then melatonin is also a very good hormone, which is there in our body, which would help you sleep better. But if melatonin is less in our body because of a lot of factors, it can lead to a troubled sleep. So how can you have a lot of melatonin? You can have it from eggs, you can have it from fish, you can have it from barley, and you can have it from sunflower seeds. So sunflower seeds are a power product. Make sure you are roasting sunflower seeds, grinding it and keeping it for yourself. You can add it to your raitas, you can add it in your rotis when you are like kneading the dough, or you can have it from on like over your sabjis and salads, or you have it just like a spoonful like I do with water or with your milk or whatever. It would get you omega-3 fatty acids, it would get you melatonin, it would get you a lot of things. So chia seeds, sunflower seeds, all of these are really your good friends. Please keep them close. The third is tryptophan. Again, we discussed this. It is an amino acid. It is kind of like a protein constituent, which would increase the happy hormone, which is serotonin in our body. Also melatonin and serotonin, both of these things it would increase. So having it from turkey, having it from chickpeas, tryptophan is. The fourth is chamomile tea. So chamomile tea would work wonders. You can easily get it from like a grocery shop. So having it like an infusion, like it would be like a powder or like a tea bag. Have it in in hot water and drink it like you usually drink your tea. But it would just be like water and the chamomile infusion. If you drink it close to your bedtime, it would really help you sleep better. It would really make sure you're sleeping, your anxiety levels are less, and you will sleep better. A lot of insomnia cases. Insomnia is when you're not having good sleep. So a lot of insomnia cases where the person was not at all able to sleep throughout the night, the person was able to sleep after, a month of having chamomile tea close to bedtime. So if you're sleeping at 9, make sure you're having a cup of chamomile tea around 8:30. It would help. The fifth one is tart cherry juice. So people who are suffering from diabetes, I won't suggest a lot of juices, but having cherries, if you can't have juice, have some cherries in your diet. Like have it at least once a week or twice a week. Cherries, they increase vitamin C and tryptophan levels in your body, and it would help you sleep better. So cherries, tart cherry juice is something that you can have. It would help you sleep better. And apart from that, don't have meals very close to your bedtime. So if you want to sleep at 9, make sure your last meal is around at max 7 or 7:30, not really close to your bedtime. Don't really have a meal and then just sleep, because it would make you really find it, you will find it difficult to sleep. Okay. So yeah. So this is the last slide. I would also want to discuss, all of us suffer from fatigue. Fatigue is something, you're feeling tired all the time. You don't really have a lot of energy. That is when you say we are suffering, we are having a lot of fatigue. So what are the foods that you can have to fight the fatigue, to keep the fatigue low? Fatigue can be because of old age, but a lot of other people, like even I, sometimes, I feel chronically fatigued. I'm all like, there are times when I'm not eating well or I'm not sleeping well, I would feel a lot of fatigue or tiredness in general. What are the foods that I can have or you can have to sleep better, to not have fatigue? I'm sorry. So the first is having an anti-inflammatory diet. Inflammation is when you have a lot of stress in your body. There can be some stress in your life which would lead to inflammation in your body. So having an anti-inflammatory diet, which would be rich in omega-3 fatty acids, colorful fruits, vegetables, a lot of herbs, spices. If you have like a diverse, colorful plate, which would contain spices, herbs, etc., and a lot of fruits, vegetables, and omega-3 fatty acids, you would eventually have like an anti-inflammatory diet, and it would help you fight the fatigue off. The second is very important. Like I said, magnesium and zinc. I am again repeating it. Magnesium and zinc, they are linked to a lot of fatigue, tiredness, brain fog, dementia, anxiety, depression, and also not having a good sleep. So having almonds, spinach, cashews for magnesium, and pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, chickpeas for zinc, both of these are your super, super good friends. Just make sure you have a lot of nuts and seeds, and it would take care of your omega-3 fatty acids and your magnesium and zinc requirements. Third is vitamins. Like I said, folic acid, B12, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, thiamine. All of these are very important. We often overlook these. But if you have a diverse plate, like, have a colorful plate, make sure your plate is having a lot of colors. Like, have some green vegetables, have a lot of fruits, have some curd if you can, and have like millet roti and all of these things, and some nuts and seeds. If there are a lot of colors in your diet, I am very sure you'll be taking care of your mineral and your vitamin requirements. So grains, fruits, egg, dairy, good oils, nuts. If you have these, your vitamin requirements would be covered. And along with that, you should have some sunlight exposure. Then lastly, spices, turmeric, chili peppers, black cumin, these all are neuroprotective, as in they protect your brain, they protect your gut, and eventually they would help you feel better. So that is all from my side. I hope I made some sense. Thank you. And if there are any questions or anything that you want to ask or comment upon, or please do.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. It was like awesome information. Like, it's too many information. Yes. Is there anyone like who wants, who have a question? You can unmute yourself or you raise your hand. I'm going to call you guys.
Yeah, this is me, Usha.
Yes, Usha ji, bataiye.
Yeah. I want to know what foods you can or avoid, one who has a lot of constipation.
Okay. So constipation, again, it can be because of a lot of conditions. But the most common thing that you should have when you have constipation is soluble fiber, like a lot of fiber. If you have fiber, it would help you pass on this tool. It can accelerate that. So having like salads with your meals. So if you want to have your meals, make sure you're having your salads first, like carrots and cucumbers, and just make sure you have a good bowl of salads, and then you start with your meals. So the first one is that. Then having, like I said, seeds. Seeds are super nutrients if you'll have seeds. But even if you have seeds, make sure you're having it in like roasted and powdered form. It would help you um, get freshen up really better. So apart from that, having curd is very important, because curd again would help flourish the gut microbiota, because most, or in most cases, um, probiotics, as in our gut bacteria, it is at fault. It is not really flourishing, and that is why we face digestive issues. So curd, or if you can have fermented foods like miso, tempeh, which are like soy fermented foods, you can have those, and even that would help you flourish the gut microbiota. But apart from that, I would also like to mention, like I mentioned in my presentation as well, there can be other reasons why you're facing constipation. It can be because of inactivity. If you're not moving enough, you can
Right.
have constipation. So if you like, if you can incorporate like a little bit of walk after your meal time, like even if it is like very slow walking, that
Right.
would help you avoid constipation. It is not just the food that you can eat, but also the things that we can do to our lifestyle to avoid, or so that is one. Or there are people who actually are suffering from some mild allergies from foods, as common as having gluten sensitivity. So if you are allergic or sensitive to gluten, it might just not be very major symptoms, but it can manifest as loose motions or diarrhea or constipation. Or also there are some people who are allergic to dairy products. We might not know that we are allergic or sensitive to dairy products. So if so I would suggest, like, for 1 week, try avoiding a lot of milk. If you have like a lot of milk in your diet, try reducing it a little and just have curd and not like proper a lot of milk. See if that changes. If
So
it can make a lot of impact.
the nuts, that all kind of nuts, are only special nuts are good for
No,
them.
no, no. So almonds and walnuts, definitely. If I won't suggest a lot of cashews, because they can be linked to, they have a lot of saturated
Right.
fat, and it has like controversial research as of now. So we won't really suggest a lot of cashews, but having almonds, having walnuts, having sometimes peanuts as well. All of these, so it's
Nuts.
all about balance and diversity. I won't be able to say have this and don't have that, but if you have a lot of diversity in your diet, you will be making sure you'll cover a lot of nutrients like that.
One question more I have, because I have this from
Yes.
one family member who's really, how do you retain sodium in the body? Any food that flushes out, or is it something that you need to eat to retain sodium in the body?
I am not sure if I'm clear with the question. Do you tend to retain sodium in your body, or
No,
uh,
the sodium flushes out very easily, and then having trouble, then the blood pressure goes high. So how do you retain sodium in the
goes
body?
high or goes low?
Goes high?
Okay, so you tend to retain the sodium in your body is what you're trying
No,
to say.
so how do you retain the sodium in the body? Because when the sodium goes low, the blood pressure goes high, and the constipation becomes so much for many days is problem. So how do you retain the sodium? What food will help to retain the sodium?
Again, I think that's a very subjective question, because in general, when you have a lot of, in usual cases, when you have a lot of sodium in your body, that is when your blood pressure goes high. So sodium and blood pressure, they are related. If sodium is high in your body, in most cases, in those cases, the blood pressure would be high. I'm not saying it is just only the case. There might be some cases when
Right.
sodium is low and blood pressure is high, but
Right.
that is a very subjective case. In
Okay.
general, okay, so in general, whenever we have like a high blood pressure problem, we usually suggest, obviously, go low on sodium, go low on salt, because
Right.
in those cases, your body is tending to retain a lot of sodium. So I guess if that's a
I
different problem, I
that's
won't be able to
right.
have like universal answer. It would
No,
be
I was saying that maybe some foods help, that can you eat this food that will help you because the sodium goes low, and then constipation is almost for 4-5 days, and it's very bad. So I was thinking, is what foods I want to know will help to keep this in balance. That's
Yeah,
what I want.
so the first and foremost in constipation as well, having a lot of fluids, having a
Right.
lot of water and a lot of fluids in your diet would help you not retain the sodium and also avoid the constipation, or
Right.
at least help with the
Right.
constipation. That is one. Apart from that, not having a lot of fried foods, not having a lot of refined flour. So
Right.
refined flour, bakery products. We
Right.
we usually overlook the bakery products. Bakery
Yeah.
products don't just mean cakes and pastries, it also means bread, regular bread.
Right.
It
Right.
contains a lot of sodium, and it would tend to retain in your body, and it would make the blood
Right.
pressure high and the constipation and all of these things would go very.
Right.
Avoiding the bakery products, avoiding the fried foods, having a lot of water are some of the things that I think we can look forward to initially, and then we can move from there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone else like
Yes,
I can see.
yes, Jyotsna.
yes, just Aunty, bataiye.
Yes, I have constipation problem
Hmm.
sometimes, not every time,
Hmm.
but I'm taking every day B12. But if
Okay.
I take it, can I take it in the morning? I have to take B12 before I was
Yes.
taking. But nowadays, sometimes I'm taking B12 at night, and then my constipation gone. It's I don't have any problem because of B12 I'm taking. You understand what I mean? If I
let
take
me explain
B12,
it in
if I take B12, then I
huh.
don't have a constipation problem more, because it's helped me.
Okay. Okay, so you're saying whenever you take B12 at night, your constipation problem is gone, is what
But my
did I
son said that you have to take in the morning B12. But
huh.
can I take at night B12 too?
See, usually doctors would suggest all the vitamins or all the multivitamins usually in the morning, because there are some people who face problems after having any vitamin supplementation at night. That is
Yeah.
why we suggest it in the morning, because a lot, if you have like vitamin supplementations at night, you might feel nauseous or you are not able to sleep better. But then again, it is very subjective. If you feel it is working for you, go for it. I mean, if you
Okay,
feel,
no
yeah,
problem for B12
there
at
won't be
night.
any problem. There
Okay.
won't be any problem.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I'm using coconut oil in food, cooking vegetable or dal vagar, anything. आटा बांधने को तो वो is it okay? Coconut oil, because
So,
it's a light coconut oil for digest. That's why I'm.
see, like I told, there is never only one type of oil which would be good for you. Coconut oil is good because it contains, again, it contains good fats, yes,
Yeah.
but then it also contains a lot of saturated fat. So having just coconut oil for your cooking won't really be beneficial. I won't suggest it. So mix it up a little. So there would be some foods where you would want to cook it in coconut oil. Use the coconut oil for that. But take one more oil and incorporate some vegetables in that. So if like very easy, this is for everyone. So make sure you buy 2 oils for the first month. Like this is April 1st. Buy 2 oils. Keep 2 oils outside, for cooking. So for lunch, for your vegetable for lunch, cook in one oil. For your dinner vegetable, cook in different oil. Do this for 1 month. In
What
the month
about
of,
avocado oil? Avocado oil.
again,
Is it
avocado oil would also be rich in saturated fat.
it's
So
heavy
coconut oil
digest?
and yeah, so coconut oil and avocado oil, I won't suggest to use it together. Use coconut oil use mustard oil for the next for dinner. So for lunch, vegetables, use mustard, use coconut oil. For
Yeah.
dinner, use mustard oil. Okay. Do it for 1 month. For April. For the month of May, use sunflower oil and use olive oil. Use
Oh,
that
I
for
see.
May. For
Uh-huh.
June, come again. Coconut oil,
Coconut oil.
mustard oil.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank
So
you very much.
after that,
And
keep
one more,
changing your oils.
yeah,
Mhm.
and one more thing, I'm bothering you, but
No.
it's okay. I can eat yogurt, cold yogurt. That's why
Okay.
I'm keeping in the microwave about few seconds. Then I can eat. Is it okay? And I put jeera powder.
Jeera powder is perfectly fine, but heating yogurt, I am not sure. I am not. I won't really recommend heating um yogurt. So if you can have it at don't have it cold. Obviously, if you want to have it at lunch, keep out of the refrigerator for some time,
Yeah,
like for a
long
few
time
hours,
ago.
and then you
Yeah,
can have. But if
yeah.
you really want to have it a little bit of
If I
heated,
forget.
you don't microwave it. If you've forgotten for a while,
Oh,
add like heat up a little bit of milk or water, add it to
oh,
your
I
yogurt
see.
and mix it, but don't
Uh-huh.
directly heat up the yogurt.
Oh, milk and
Okay.
water. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can use a little bit of milk or a little bit of water
Water.
to heat it up a
It,
little.
yeah,
Yeah, and you can
yeah.
add jeera powder. Great.
Yeah,
Don't
it's
add a lot
good.
of salt over the top. Don't add salt. You can add jeera powder. You can add coriander, mint.
Yeah.
All of these things aram se add, or add a
Okay.
lot. Like you can add like grated beetroot, grated cucumber, grated all of these things you can add.
Okay.
Make it colorful. Make it happy.
Okay. Thank you very
There is
much.
someone who's you
Yeah.
can even immerse the yogurt
like-
container in hot water for some time and then eat it. Again, yes, you can immerse it, but then it would, yeah, the first thing would be you won't be able to control how much it is heated. If you can control that and you're very aware, it is a good option. You can immerse the yogurt container in hot water and it can be lukewarm and then you can have
Oh,
it. But again, heating up the whole yogurt container there are some studies which say otherwise, which would say, that would hinder the bacteria's growth in your body. So the best would be to make sure you put an alarm and keep it in room temperature
outside.
and you
Yeah.
have it. Yeah. So
Room
having it room
temperature.
temperature is the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
lassi bana lo, auntie. Okay.
Huh.
Lassi is
Yeah,
good.
lassi is
Okay.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Hot
I'll move
water.
on to the next question.
Thank you very much.
I'd like
Yes.
to ask you,
Yes, Madhu.
please.
May I?
Okay.
Hello?
Mangalaji. Okay, go ahead. Mangala auntie.
Yeah, I see a lot of people suffering from cataract in the old age. So if somebody is it's not the last stage, but वो कहते हैं ना पकता है, वो पका नहीं है, मान लो, or somebody is suffering from or going into that direction, is there any way to reverse it naturally?
I didn't understand the disorder. Cataract.
Yeah,
Cataract.
yes, right.
Speaking purely from like nutritionist point of view, I don't really think. As far as my knowledge is concerned, I'm not really sure of if foods are capable of reversing the cataract. Having a good vitamin A rich diet would help you prevent early cases of cataract. That is there, but apart from that, if there's a person who is at the terminal stage or in that direction, only foods are not, to my knowledge, I'm not sure, but I can get back to answering this question like after doing my research.
Okay, and I heard that the yogurt you cannot eat nighttime or in the evening. They say that.
No. This
No?
is if there's a person, like if you strongly have an aversion to having yogurt at night, then only in those cases you can avoid it. But there is no study, no research
Okay.
which says that if you have it at night, it would have a bad effect. It doesn't happen. You
Okay,
can
the
have it. Don't have it extremely cold if you feel your throat is sensitive or you develop migraines or sinuses after having yogurt, but having it at room temperature won't really be a problem.
Thank
Do
you.
you guys have a
And let,
time for one more question, please?
yes, Smita ji, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. I have a very simple question. If you have a calcification, that means more calcium in your artery, which causes the heart attack without knowing. If you have a calcification in the artery, should you avoid kale and amaranth or any grains? Does that affect more deposit of calcium in your artery? Should we avoid it?
Again, it is a very subjective question. My answer, whatever that I'll answer, it won't be an umbrella answer for all the conditions. So, for the calcification, we would want to see what is the reason for calcification. So, in one person, it can be because it is genetic predisposition. You know, your parents had calcification, and you obviously are having calcification because your genes are like that. The second person might be having calcification because there's a problem with the kidneys, and their kidneys are not able to excrete out the calcium, and that excess calcium is being deposited. The third person can have calcification because their diets or their supplements that they were having were extremely rich in calcium, and they had an effect, and they got you calcified. The fourth person can have calcification because of a completely different unrelated reason. So unless we know what is the cause of that calcification, we cannot really suggest, if you want to avoid or not. There can be a person who would, in a lot of cases, very interestingly, if a person has a lot of calcification in their arteries, they are usually deficient in calcium. They would be having calcification in your arteries, but also a lot of calcium deficiencies and brittle bones, because all the calcium is in the arteries and it is not really reaching your bones, or so it can be together. So in those cases, if I say don't have calcium rich food, it would make your bones even weaker. So having an umbrella answer for this is not advisable. But again, just because you feel your arteries are being calcified, in those cases completely avoiding calcium won't be helpful, because again, like I said, your body won't be getting calcium. There are drugs like medicines which would help you get rid of the calcification. There's a person who's raised. Okay, sir has raised hand. Okay, so yeah, like I said, there are drugs you'll have to consult with like a proper doctor, and then we can see what is the reason, and then we'll suggest if you have to avoid it or not. But in usual cases, no, you don't really are required to avoid any food because of calcification, unless it is because of the food.
Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Rao.
Yes, this subject is not so simple. And these young nutritionists are full of knowledge of what is given to them. But the reality in today's world, even after doing more than 100 presentations, Tavleen's presentation is the 110th presentation. Even then, not only me, many of the people who came to present cannot give definitive answers. It is not because they are not intelligent enough. It is because this subject, food for health, is horribly, horribly neglected by people. And food is exploited for money by making foods that make you addict to the food. In the food industry, we never talked about it. There are scientists who can make any food addictive to your taste, and thereby they sell more and more. And this subject is going to change, and to maintain your health is very important. There is no question with food, because once you come to a situation where medicine is required, what food can do is very little. So our presentations are aimed at giving the knowledge so that you can observe your body and choose what is right, what is not right. I know a person who is 80 years old. Unless he eats sweets at night before bed, he cannot sleep well. And there are so many variations like that. As far as the money is concerned, the world knows that there is a person, Brian Johnson, he spends $2 million every year to keep himself healthy and young. And there are people who do not do anything, probably are still healthy till they die, like my mother at 94.
Well
So
said.
we will take a different approach in these sessions. We will bring back these presenters together, because today Tavleen may say something about coffee. And in fact, Kanishka is preparing for the past 2 months about teas and coffees. Kanishka is her senior. So we'll have all of them together and have proper guidance as far as the science is holding today, and you will improve. I'm sure these presentations every day, you can use them in your daily life. There are very simple things. Again and again, they must be told. Number one, eat a wide range of food items. In Tavleen's presentation today, you must have had seen so many food items. Please try to eat some of them or all of them as much as you can. The next one is everybody agreed that eat a wide range, but eat less. The most important thing is every time you eat something, whether some doctor says, we say, Tavleen says, don't forget about observing yourself. Eat, observe, and then repeat. That's all for today.
Thank you.
Can I
Thank
ask a question?
Thank you very much, Dr. Rao.
Thank you. I mean,
Okay.
we are running out
Just
of time.
one small question, if you
Just one.
allow.
Is Tavleen, is it okay?
Yeah, of course, of course, of course.
Okay. Yes, Sandhya
Just,
ji.
I feel very drowsy after eating. Is it normal?
At what time do you feel drowsy? As in,
Like,
after what meal?
I
Or
eat
all the
lunch,
meals?
I eat lunch, and immediately after that, I feel drowsy.
Drowsy
So,
as in sleepy, is what you're trying to say.
yes. My eyes drop. I mean to say, I feel I should not go down to sleep, otherwise, I sit up.
Mhm.
So, is that normal?
Can you let me know what usually do you eat like at lunch or
Normal food, Indian food with
yeah.
chapati and the saying what you say, dal or sabji, whatever. Yes.
So again, like so keeping it very general, having a lot of carbohydrate based food. So having like if you're having like usually if you're having roti and sabji, having it
Yeah.
together, if you're having roti and sabji, both of these things contain carbohydrates. So having
Okay.
carbohydrates automatically predispose you to feeling sleepy. It's the best
Okay.
food if you want to sleep, you know, if you want to sleep, have a carb based diet, and you'll sleep, you'll feel a lot sleepier.
Okay.
But
Okay.
having good protein in your diet. So if you feel like, for me, just compare between when you have roti and sabji versus when you have roti and some thick dal, not a watery dal, like a thick dal, and have salads first, and then
Salad,
have,
a salad I
yeah,
must have. I take salad and then I
okay.
start eating. So I
So
don't take too much of roti, one roti and dal and sabji. So I don't know why I feel drowsy after that.
so are you a vegetarian or a non-vegetarian?
Yes, yes, vegetarian, pure vegetarian.
Vegetarian. Okay. So, in your salads, like a tip, you will have to add like some more protein in your diet. Protein would help you stay awake and stay fresh. You know,
Okay.
before just
Okay.
having this presentation, this is like around night, around 8:30 for us in India. So I had like a good, like some nuts and a little bit of paneer so that I stay awake. Just to give you like little heads up, because I was feeling a
Okay.
little sleepy. So having a
Mhm.
bit of protein in your diet would help you not feel sleepy. So
Okay.
if you have sabji and roti, make sure having like tofu or paneer slices in your salad, because protein will help you feel better. So
Okay.
just compare it. Like if you have dal and roti, like a big katori of thick dal, not the watery dal. Usually in India
No,
or
I don't take too much. I take very little. I feel full very quickly
yeah, so
because I eat salad
have
before.
good amount of dal, and then have like some roti. Even in roti, if you can have it, mix that up. Like have millet roti and not have the regular roti, because regular roti, normal wheat roti every day can also make you a little sleepier, because it is a little less in fiber as compared to millets and stuff. So having like a
Okay.
millet roti, if you can digest it well, and have it
Okay.
with like some thick dal and not just sabji. Sabji would
Yeah.
mean like normal sabji, but dal is like, or have chana or dal or soya bean if
Mm-hmm.
you can have. This, if you'll have, having protein would make you less sleepy.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Tavleen.
Uh,
Right,
There's
you know,
one
like
more
so many people
question
have.
here. I'll just take one
Yeah.
from. So, any suggestions to mitigate allergy? So, allergies, there is a very strong link between omega-3 fatty acids, like I said, and they have been told to like heal or prevent against allergy. So, nuts and seeds are your friends in this case. Along with that, onions, raw onions also help you avoid onions and garlics. So if you'll have those in your diet, unless you're allergic to a garlic or onion, that's separate. But for allergies, having almonds and walnuts and sunflower seeds and chia seeds, flax seeds, these foods incorporate more in your diet. Have it in your raitas or your rotis or your vegetables or in your dal or stuff like that. And along with that, having raw onions and having garlic in your diet would help you heal quickly from the allergy and avoid the anti-inflammatory effects.
in our diet, we should eat how much protein and how much good carbohydrate. There is a, after a certain age, there is a, what amount of protein, what amount of carbohydrate we should eat.
Again, it is very subjective. It would depend on your age, your height, your weight, your diseased conditions. There can be a person who is having like a kidney disorder, and they might require a different level of protein versus a person who is like very slim and they have like a high metabolism and they would require a lot more protein. So that won't be, I won't be able to suggest that.
Meaning, I want to lose weight, so I want to balance, like, balance food to lose weight, like how much carbohydrate, how much protein, how much, like,
Again, it is, I'm so sorry. It is extremely, I mean, it is very subjective. I won't be able to answer that unless I know like a lot of specifications about yourself. It won't be safe to suggest that. But having good amount of protein in all your meals. So in breakfast, don't just have like a parantha. make sure you are changing it up. Like if you have like oats with peanuts and vegetables, because they will cover your carbohydrate, your fats, your protein. Have protein in each and every meal. Mostly Indians, we are predisposed to only carb-based meals. Having protein in all your meals is very important. Have
I'm
it
sure
from eggs,
they
have it
also.
from nuts, have it from dals, have it from paneer. Make sure you're having it in bits and pieces, but your protein, your carbohydrate, everything is there when you eat. Everything you should see.
Okay. Thank
Can I
you.
ask you a question? Yeah. I take painkillers because I have fallen and broken my vertebra at the back. So with
Okay.
the painkillers, where I'm mostly lying down, like sort of. So like you get constipated, and I'm
Yes.
taking the stool softener. How good or bad it is, like, because from last 2 months I have to take.
Laxatives, yeah, unless you have like a lot of physical activity, painkillers would predispose you to constipation.
Right.
Constipation is bad. It has a lot of side effects. So a stool softener would help. Apart from a stool softener, having like soluble fibers, having banana in your diet, having
Right.
oats, having
Yes.
soft food in general, having like khichdi or millet khichdi and all of those
Right.
things, these will help. But apart from that, you should have a stool
Yeah, I
softener.
do have vegetables,
Yeah,
starch,
yeah.
things.
I mean,
Until
it
because
can
of
be
the
linked
pain,
to a
I
lot
have
some. Sorry.
because of the
What?
pain, I have to take the stool softener. Like.
Yeah. Because otherwise it would make you constipated, and constipation is linked to a lot
It's
of harmful.
really bad, I know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
painkillers make you do that. Makes
Make
that.
sure you have a lot of water, because
Mm.
in general with any kind of medication, it is very essential to have like enough water so that toxins are released.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tavleen. We are taking
Rice,
of your
rice also
time.
gives carbohydrate, right?
Yeah, rice, roti, all kinds of grains, they are rich in carbohydrates.
Okay.
Carbohydrates are not bad, but with carbohydrates, you should have protein.
Yeah, right. But little amount of rice.
Yeah, little amount of
Yeah.
rice, yes.
And 2 roti is okay, right?
It also again depends on, I mean, just a tip, if you're having rice, don't have roti. If you're having roti, don't have rice. Don't have it together. That way you
No.
eat a lot more.
I eat 2 roti, vegetable more, and rice little. Is it good? And dal.
Yeah, dal, roti, vegetable is fine. If you're having rice, don't have roti. If you're having roti, don't have rice. Having it together usually makes you eat more, is what I
Oh,
suggest.
I
Whenever
see.
you're having rice, cook it with vegetables also. Even that helps.
Okay, you mean full dinner with roti and rice, no good, right?
Yeah, don't
Roti and
have rice and roti together. Yes.
no good. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
Tavleen.
much
I know
for
like it's
so much.
it's already night for you. Thank you so much all the participants, like whoever had questions. We will get her Tavleen again back on our
Yeah,
phone.
I
sure.
would
Thank
love
you.
to.
Question. Yes, thank you. Because it's already late. It's late in the night
Yeah.
for you. Thank you so much. And you
Thank you so much.
had our members' questions so patiently. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
I had a lovely time.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Dr.
quinoa is good. Quinoa is great. Whoever is
Thank
asking.
you.
Thank you for your help.
Thank you for
for you.
Thank you.
Thank
Of course,
you.
I had a great time.
Thank
Have a
you.
good day, everyone. Bye-bye.
you. Have a good day.
Bye.
you.
Bye.